I really liked our little dancing. We should keep just a little piece of that in at the
Just
start.
Miss Cassandra Sparks, how the dickens are you?
Well, the dance party we just had helped a lot. I
It did.
believe that so many things in life can be helped with a little shoulder shimmy and or rear shimmy or any kind of shimmy. Really,
All the shimmying.
all the shimmies can solve a lot of problems.
Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. I think that could be our mantra for the podcast. Shimmy till it's all okay. Shimmy
Shimmy
till you
the
feel better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like it.
That's
Shimmy the
good.
shit away.
Um,
Ooh.
Shimmy the shit away. Cut that
Yeah,
out.
whoops.
All right. Well, I'm so happy to be here with you today. And we're going to be talking about managing self doubt in today's episode, everybody. So hunker down for that.
Yes, we are. Welcome to Spark Squared Speakeasy. We are the leadership conversation that you weren't meant to overhear, served up like a casual pub chat for all of those leaders out there. I'm Cassandra Sparks, and I'm here with the amazing Ewan from Figgery Learning.
Thank you, Cassandra Sparks. What a wonderful welcome. It's lovely to be here with you. I am Ewan from Figgery Learning. Everybody pull up a chair because this is real honest talk about leadership in real life. So let's get into it, shall we, Cassandra?
Yes, please. No
This
doubts here.
No doubts in my
No
mind that we
doubts.
are officially opening the speakeasy doors. The speakeasy doors, everybody, are officially open for business.
Yay! Yay!
Woo! We are going to recap on last episode's Courage Challenge before we get started, as we do at the beginning of every episode. Last episode, we recognized deposits and withdrawals from our bank accounts. So if you remember back to our last episode, we were speaking all about how we have the ability to be able to make deposits into our relationship bank accounts with people. And we do that in order to prepare ourselves for those times where we inevitably have to withdraw from those bank accounts. Maybe when we have to have a difficult conversation or when we have to face into a little bit of tension together or endure stress, and making sure that we are doing everything we can to deposit into our bank accounts that we have with every single person we interact with every single day means that we are ready for those difficult times we will inevitably have. So at the end of this episode, we are going to pose this week's Courage Challenge. So please do stick around. What withdrawals and deposits into bank accounts did you make this week, Miss Cassandra Sparks, before we move on?
Sure. Deposits are easy for me. I tend to deposit a lot of goodwill amongst folks in my life, whether it's my friends or my family. I had a really wonderful chat with my best friend who used to live in Charleston and moved up to New Hampshire. We had a really great FaceTime chat, and the two of us were just depositing into each other's emotional bank accounts, just like a slot machine. Just boop, 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 boop. And it was so wonderful. Yes, it was so wonderful. So just like filling up my cup, her cup too. We didn't, I, the withdrawal, if I think back to that conversation, there were some heavier topics that we did discuss, not about each other, but about things that were happening in our life. And I think because we had deposited so much love and empathy and care for each other that it set the stage for us to both be like, okay, here's where I'm stuck in the muck. Can you help me get out of it? What's a different perspective here? And so, we don't always have the capacity emotionally or mentally for those difficult conversations because life is hard and it can be really exhausting. And I found all those deposits from earlier in the conversation helped us navigate those challenging topics with more ease.
I like that. I like the fact that you've been using the emotional bank account concept in an interaction as well as being like a sort of longer term concept. I think that's a really great way of looking at it. Like even in the interactions that we have, starting with a mindset of how am I going to build trust and credibility and a strong relationship with that person I'm talking to. Love that. Thank you so much for sharing.
Of course. What about you, Ewan? Ewan, tell us how you met last week's courage challenge.
Ooh, that's a good question. I think that I probably did it. Do you know what? I think the most significant example of me doing it last week was with a Lyft driver that I had in Chicago. And I was, but much to your point of doing it like in the moment, I could
Yes.
tell that this Lyft driver was not having the best day. And when I got into the car, I could immediately feel the tension. So I thought, I'm going to give her some space. I'm not going to be my usual chatty Cathy self. So I gave her a little bit of breathing space. She was obviously in a bad mood because the traffic was horrendous on the Hawaii on the highway, and we weren't in Hawaii. We were in Chicago. On the Hawaii highway, we um we're stuck in traffic for a long time, so we're stuck in this car together, and I mean, she felt at this point awkward because she had created such tension, and I felt awkward because there just was tension. So I think we both kind of came to a mutual moment of I think we both have to pay into each other's deposit into each other's emotional bank accounts now. So we kind of had a little glance in the rearview mirror, and eventually we kind of struck up a conversation. And I think that ability to be able to pay into each other's bank accounts, make each other feel a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more comfortable with each other, meant that when we were inevitably 45 minutes together, still in the car after what should have been a 15-minute car journey, we were able to not chew each other's heads off and be angry and upset and grumpy. So that was kind of a good example of an in the moment emotional bank account deposit.
Absolutely. What a
I did ask
powerful.
a couple of times if we could make a different turn because I knew where we were going. Which
Oh,
can sometimes not go down very well with Lyft drivers, as you know.
it. Yep, yep. Hmm.
So yeah,
What
that was
a
good.
positive return on your investment if we're using financial terms.
Very true. And the positive return on my investment was that I managed to get to my destination only 30 minutes late, as opposed to what would have been probably over an hour late if we had gone the direction that the Lyft app was going to tell us to go. So I'm quite chuffed with that.
Indeed. That's terrific. Good. Well, look at us, just all the deposits in the bank accounts. And that's
Right.
part of our nature. I think generally you and I tend to, again, establish that goodwill and try to create positive experiences for the people we interact with daily. So that wasn't too much of a stretch for us, but yours was a bit more high risk because you had someplace to be. There was a time issue. There was like kind of giving directions to the driver, which can be sometimes not well received, but well done.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, I really don't deal with having awkward conversations. I'm thoroughly British, and that's a sweeping statement because I know not all British people are like this, but we have a bit of a reputation for being perhaps too polite sometimes,
Mm,
and especially in sort of public situations like that. So I did have to kind of suck it up a bit. Just say how I felt, but I had felt comfortable doing it because I had the emotional bank account was healthy. So yes, there we go.
exactly.
So at the end of this episode, like I said before, we are going to pose this week's courage challenge to you all. So please do stick around to hear what that's going to be all about. Shall we dive into the pub? I desperately need a drink. So
Absolutely. What
desperately,
are we drinking?
desperately made me sound a little bit
Let's pretend we're having a cocktail. What is your drink right now
gin and
at the pub?
tonic. That's not just my drink right
I
now.
knew
It's my
you
drink
were going
all
to
the
say
time.
that. I knew you were going to say that.
Anybody that knows me says, "Oh my God, why don't I have a gin and tonic in front of me at all times of the day?" And yet I don't. Instead, what I've got, and they are not sponsoring this podcast, Celsius and a big, big bottle of water to dilute down the caffeine just in case it gets too much. There you go.
I'm sorry. Do
This
you mean
is,
a big bottle of water? This is bigger than my face.
yeah. All
For
right.
those of you that are listening and not watching, uh, we're holding up
That is
bottles
a
of water that are enormous and
massive
pretending
Stanley
and
Cup.
wishing that there was more than just water in them.
But could I just say,
Okay.
Sandra, for those that are not
Yes.
watching, that is a spectacular color of water bottle. It is very Cassandra Sparks.
Isn't it so Cassandra Sparks? It, folks, it is red and it is sparkly. And if you know Cassandra Sparks, you know those are two of my favorite things. And this was a
Yes, they
gift, so
are.
that makes it even more special.
Oh, there you go. Fantastic. Cassandra Sparks Stanley. You have them branded. I
I
love
know,
that. Right, let's
right?
dive into this, or else we're going to be here all week.
Okay, self doubt. So common. Full stop. How many times a day, Ewan, do you think you experience self doubt? Give me like an
Well,
estimated number.
I was just about to glug on myself, Sayers. That was my moment of self doubt. I was like, "Can I do it?" Oh, nope, I can't. Um, I think I would be as a business owner probably once every hour. Not saying on the hour,
Yes,
but definitely
sure.
a minimum
Yes,
24 times a day.
I would absolutely agree with that. And what's so powerful about owning that is, I'm a motivational speaker and a boldness coach. Ewan, you are a thought leader in all things leadership development. You have this tremendous background in hospitality and service and communication. So between the two of us, we are, I'm just going to say, badass.
I
And
like being
we
called
are
badass.
powerful beings. We are powerful and we have a lot of knowledge. So the fact that us as leaders are experiencing self-doubt 24-ish times a day, we know that other folks are right there with us and that we're not alone. And it could be at work. It could also be some things that came to my mind is like when I'm at the gym. If I'm lifting weights and I want to go up in weight, there's a split second where I'm like, can I do this? Of course I can do this. I have superhero arms. I'm so strong. Of course I could do this. And then maybe it's I want to extend my mileage or run faster. Well, what if I get hurt? Or what if my form slacks? No, I got this. If we go back to work, it could be completing a task or a project. For me, I'll be honest, sometimes when I have a project that is overwhelming me, I tend to get stuck in self doubt and then I get paralyzed by it. And I'm unable to move forward and actually complete the work until I can yank myself out like a weed from the roots. And that takes some gumption. That takes some real guts. What
Mm.
about you in terms of work? Like, what's an example of something you and that you've experienced any of the last 24 hours, if you like? I know.
I do think that it's the imposter syndrome that comes along with being a leader, or whether that's being a business owner, or being a leader of a team,
Yeah.
or being a community leader, or being in some form, or even a parent, or an uncle, or an auntie, like of that. Can I do this vibe? I think that sometimes I definitely have to, like you said, like, have the gumption to take yourself and
Mhm.
pull yourself out of it. I definitely sometimes have to verbalize, whether that's internally or externally to myself, like, "This is mind over matter. You can do
Yes.
this." My examples of self-doubt generally are much nerdier, Cassandra, than yours. So, hunker down. I'm really sorry. But I am a nerd beyond nerdiness. I
Well,
love
I'm a nerd too. We owned that
True.
a few episodes ago in the Boldness
We
Plus
did.
episode. We're both
We
proud
did.
nerds. Go ahead. Please continue.
Proud nerd. I forgot about that. You're right. Absolutely, we did. Sorry to take your
Mhm.
nerdiness away from you. You are
No.
a worthy nerd. Um, I I love automation. I love building automation for our businesses, like both of our businesses. I love like trying to find ways of doing it. But the problem with automation is that you can get it perfect and then you walk away and then you want to add something to it. So you have to go and like reverse engineer what you built before. And there is always this moment whenever I approach one of these challenges where I think, I just can't do this. This is like too much. too much work. There's too many moving parts. There's too much going on here. Like, I can't focus on it. And I sometimes just have to walk away, like, fill up my coffee and just come back and just, like, tell myself that I can do this. I built it in the first place. I can fix this. And I always end up doing it. And I think that that is something that it just is an illustration that sometimes you just need a moment of humanity when it comes to self-doubt to walk away, recalibrate, remind yourself that you have superhuman arms, or that you have superhuman mind, or that you have a superhuman approach, or psyche, and come back to it with that fresh, like, I'm gonna get 'em mindset. Even if it's something as nerdy as automating an email drip marketing campaign.
That is a fantastic example.
I
A
mean,
fantastic
there's a lot of geek involved there, but yes.
Yes. Our leaders who are listening might have similar experiences, whether it's automation, whether it's having to have a difficult conversation with someone, doing SOPs,
Mm.
like whatever it is, there's nerdiness that's involved in being a leader for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. And I think it's okay for leaders. I think that a lot of leaders feel like they have to have this, like, this superhuman, supernatural, like, persona when they come to work. But I think
Mm,
it's really important just to re-emphasize a point that we've made before in our previous podcast, is that it's okay to not have all the answers, and it's okay to not know how to fix that problem, or how to approach that challenge, or how to have that conversation. Sometimes that self-doubt is a, like, self-preservation mechanism that we've created for ourselves, that it allows us that moment to not dive feet first into something without thinking it through, and without thinking all of the potential outcomes through rationally, but instead take that moment, take that step back, pull yourself out of it and think, "Okay, what have I got to try and achieve here, and what are the potential things that could come as a result of it, and how can I mitigate those negative things that could come as a result of it, and then celebrate those positive things that can come from just being brave enough to dive in and get it done."
absolutely. This might be the time for our signature
What would that
catchphrase.
be, Cassandra?
Hey, Ewan,
"Hey, Cassandra,
can I
yeah?"
get a hell yeah?
Well, you want a hell yeah. Hell yeah!
Woo!
I like that. It was nice. It was good. I feel like we're getting better at
Yeah.
I feel like
It's because
I'm beginning to warm to facing into it.
you're doing great. You did have some self-doubt about it for sure when it
Oh, I
organically
did.
came up in the beginning. It was so organic the way it came up. We're like, "This is a great point. Hell yeah." And they're like, "Oh, there's our catchphrase." And there were some moments where you're like,
And here we
"I don't know
are.
about this, Cassandra." Yeah.
Here we are
Yeah.
15
You're in it
episodes
now,
later.
bud.
We're still trying.
Yeah. You're in it now. So
No going
as
back.
yeah, as you and I were preparing for today's episode, we had a framework or a strategy that we'd like to share with the folks listening to help us reframe our brains when self-doubt happens, because self-doubt starts in the brain, and the brain is a real tricky minx. So there's two parts. It's what do I think is part one. The second part is what's the proof. So to go back to part one, what do I think? Naming the thought, the feeling, the experience, whatever that is rooted, wherever your doubt is rooted, name it. Because avoiding it helps no one. Naming it puts you back in control. So it helps us to kind of rebalance the scales within our brain. Once we have named it, then we go to step two, which is what is the proof here? And this is something ideally tangible. You can look back at a text message, an email message, or maybe there's something hanging on your refrigerator or a beautiful painting on your wall, something that you can see, touch, and feel that reminds you of the truth. that you are capable, that this is something you can and will do and have done in the past. Because in times of uncertainty and doubt, our brains, they're often lying to us. Thanks a lot, anxiety.
Mm.
Note the sarcasm in my voice. And then the anxiety spiral just can go fast and furious and take us into a dark place. So, by using this two-step process, what do I think and what's the proof? It helps us to take that, if we go back to the plant example, take that weed by the roots and rip it out and reframe it in our brain.
I absolutely love that, that kind of two-part process of what do I think, and I really love that concept. It's something we've already kind of spoken about, I suppose, is that just being conscious of the fear, of the self-doubt, of the uncertainty, just like like one thing that I do a lot of is talk to myself, as unhealthy as
Mhm.
that may be. But I do
No,
think sometimes when that self-doubt creeps in, just being able to be brave enough to say, "All right, Ewan, enough. Like, let's sort this
yes,
out." Like, and I do genuinely do that all the time. As crazy as
that's
my
funny.
dogs might
I
think
do
I
it too,
am.
except I say, all right, Cassandra Young, get it together. You got like, let's handle this.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Keep
I
going.
absolutely. I just think that being able to articulate it is there's just something cathartic, there's something human,
Mhm.
there's something
Mhm.
physically tangible, even though it's words, but there's a physicality about like letting it come from within and come out of your body. And it just makes me feel like, and I'm not hippy dippy in any possible way, as everybody that knows me knows. But I do think there is something to be said physiologically about just like letting it out and just saying it and acknowledging what do I think? Like, what am I thinking right now? All
Absolutely.
right, Ian, stop being a beep. You've got this. I think there's definitely a lot of proof in that. And then I love that concept of what's the proof when we're talking about it. I really feel like that was something that was super, super helpful. I feel like that just having a reminder constantly there to just make sure that we're never forgetting that we can achieve so much. As a human being, we have this ability to be able to achieve so much good in the world, as well as so much that is just frankly like mind blowing that we can achieve this. Like, I have dogs, as you know, and I sometimes look at my 2 dogs and I'm like, "How lucky am I, firstly, to be able to look after these 2 dogs because 'cause they're the best things in the world, but secondly,
Yes.
to have been given the gift of being able to be a human being on this planet that has the ability to rationally think, to achieve so much, and be able to do so much good if I want to do good." And I think that just having that reminder and that proof somewhere is important. Whatever
Yes.
that reminder and that proof is to you. Like, I'm
Of
not
course.
religious by any stretch of the imagination, but if that's religion for you, or if that's a spirituality for you, or if that's a physical letter from somebody, another human that you care about, I just think that that is so important to have that reminder. So when you do pull yourself out of
That's right.
the anxiety spiral, that you've got that physical reminder there to kinda latch onto and go, "Okay, that's my why. That's what I'm gonna move forward for." Speaking of that
It's
dog, here she
true. I hear. So I agree with you. There's power in the proof. There's power in both, but and I think the proof is where you can really turn the switch.
Mhm.
And maybe it's a client testimonial, or maybe it's a really nice comment that someone made on a social media post. Personally, I know there's times when I go back through I have no shame in admitting this, my own business social media feed on Instagram. I look at my grid and I'm like, wow, like look at all this great stuff that I've been able to showcase and accomplish, and it's all there. There's the proof. So that's sometimes when I'm feeling especially unsure. That's been helpful for me as a small
Yeah.
business owner, solopreneur.
I love that. I really love that. And then there are those moments though that are like we've got those memories that luckily or unluckily, depending on your perspective, you've got Instagram, you've got your social media presence now to kind of look back on as like a almost like it's our version of photo albums, I suppose,
For
in this
sure.
generation. But then we've also got, without all of that, just the memories of the things that we've accomplished. Like I know we were speaking about like this failing into success stories that we have for each other, right? Like that sometimes when we are in those moments of doubt, you have to look back and go, well, listen, if I could do that, I can do anything. So I
Mm.
think it'd be a really good time for you to share yours. What was the thing when you were thinking about, and listeners, you will be surprised to know that once again, me and Cassandra are very similar here, but I'll let Cassandra share hers first and then I'll share with you mine, and they were not corroborated on it any way. So Cassandra, do you want to share with the audience what your failing into success story was that you hold on to in those moments of doubt?
Absolutely. This was the early to mid 2000s in upstate New York on a family vacation. Every year, my family goes to a place called Long Lake, which is in the Adirondack Mountains in New York. And my mom is one of 10 siblings. So the amount of first cousins that I have is extraordinarily shocking in a beautiful way. I love them all. If you're listening, love you, Boone family. So here I am on this lake, and my uncle has a boat and water skis. And I'm like, ah, I want to do this. I could totally do this. So I get my life jacket on. I'm in the water, bobbing up and down. I got the skis on my feet, and I was humbled so quickly, Ewan. Oh my gosh. That first summer, I must have spent 12, 13, or 14 hours in the water, bobbing around, water's up my nose, skis are crossing, nothing good is happening other than me just failing for hours. Again, 12 hours. Okay, well, that was disappointing. Summer number two, the following summer. All right, I'm getting psyched up. I'm like, this is going to be it. This is going to be the summer. We're going to do it. Hate to spoil it. Same freaking thing happened summer two. The water up the nose, the bobbing up and down, the getting dragged by a boat. It's unpleasant. And bless my uncle and his patience and continued encouragement for me to keep trying. Again, spending probably not quite 12, it might have been 10 hours this second summer in the water, but with no success. Well, some call this stubborn, some call it grit. Summer number three, I said, things are changing. This is going to be the summer. And I had experienced so much uncertainty and so much doubt around this relatively silly idea of why can't I get up on water skis? Summer number three, give myself a pep talk. I was in good shape. There was no reason I couldn't do this. And here we go. In the water, life jacket, bobbing, hoping no snapping turtles are going to like come and nibble at my bum while I'm just waiting. And I'm nervous because my arms are out straight. My skis are pointed up as they should be. And I'm like, oh, here we go again. Wouldn't you know? On the first or second try in that third summer, I popped right out of the water.
Yay!
Woohoo! And I was able to stay up for a significant amount of time. And then
That's
it's like, okay,
amazing.
yeah. So now that you're up, I'm like, okay, now what? Because I hadn't gotten to
Right.
the point to actually learn what happens once you're up. So I quickly was able to figure out it's about how you distribute your weight and how you lean into the skis is where you go. So that was a bit of a self-teaching moment. This is a story about literally failing into success. 3 summers, 20 hours, finally getting to that point of success. And now anytime I get on water skis, I can just pop right up. So it all paid out. It all paid off. But boy, was there self-doubt, constant self-doubt about.
I love that story. I love the determination. I also feel like you're uncle's level of patience has got to be
Oh,
celebrated there. That is
it sure
wild.
does. It sure does.
That's
Thanks,
so
Uncle
funny.
John.
Okay.
Yeah. What
Well,
about
I've never
you
water
would
skied in my life, so I feel like you've definitely got one up on me there, which is brilliant. Yeah, still a water ski virgin, but I will say I would love to try it one day. I'm very lucky. When I was growing up, my dad had a boat, and it would be the weekend trip where we would take this boat out that he had bought third or fourth, maybe fifth hand from somebody at work. The engine never worked on it. So you would get all the way into the freezing cold, like, I mean, freezing cold lakes and rivers of Scotland with this boat. And it would inevitably not start. So me and all of my cousins, because I, like you, have got a very, very large family, and we would be honestly frozen. And the boat wouldn't start. And my cousins would all be there because I was very small at the time. My cousins would all be there ready because they all wanted to get up on the water skis and they wouldn't get to do it. So my perception of water skiing as a child was always tainted by just being shivering cold on the side of a loch in Scotland with two very angry cousins who couldn't get up to go and water ski because my dad's boat wouldn't work yet again.
oh my
So there you go. That's
gosh.
my water skiing story. Uh,
That's
but
serving me
my
Titanic vibes.
Oh yeah, honestly, the amount of times I still have very vivid memories as a child of us being in the boat and the engine conking out somewhere in the middle of a loch or on a river somewhere in Scotland, and us having to paddle back with the water skis as our paddles
Oh
in this
no.
little red speedboat. It was awful, freezing cold. I mean, I like nothing prepares you for that level of cold. Story. That was a brilliant story, Cassandra. Genuinely, that is fantastic. Love, love, love.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Persistence and determination and
Yes. Your
patience.
middle names.
Ooh, hardly. The patience is not one of my virtues. Determination and grit, I got. Patience is not. Now, if we like zoom out on this, water sports aside, this failing into success idea has shown itself countless times throughout history. One of my favorite examples is Thomas Edison. He is notorious for having determination and this attitude of never giving up. Thomas Edison, as most folks know, invented the light bulb. Some say that it took him 1,000 tries before he could get it right. In actuality, however, he says that he failed over 2,000 times. To be more specific, 2,774 times is what it took for him to find the bamboo filament that he put into production for the light bulb that we know now. 2,774. Could you imagine, Ewan, how different life would be if he gave up after try number 1,303 or try number 2,700? Would we
That is
just like still be in
crazy.
the dark? What would happen if he gave up?
That is nuts. I did not know these numbers. This is
Mhm.
bonkers. Like what it's like is it the movie Sliding Doors? Have you ever seen that movie?
Ooh, I
It's
have
about,
not.
like, is it sliding doors or revolving doors or something? Oh, somebody tell us in the comments. It's that movie. I think it might have been Idina Menzel. I'm going to get this horribly wrong. I will Google it in a minute and corroborate at the end of the podcast. The concept of sliding doors that if you go through this one, then your life is going to take a journey in this direction. If you go through this one, your life might go in a completely different direction. It's kind of that. Like if he
Yeah.
didn't continue to try, if he didn't just persevere and like try to prove himself right,
Mhm.
everybody's life is completely different. That's
Think
bonkers.
about the amount of right? Think about the amount of self-doubt he must have had
Right.
of like after over 2,000 attempts. That
Uh,
self-doubt compounds like interest that you
right.
just oh my gosh, and then for him to keep going is extraordinary. Talk about
It's just
resilience of
nuts.
spirit.
Like, I mean, I go back to my automation. Like, I get to the
Yeah.
point where I'm like 1 hour in and I'm like, oh, I'm done with this. Can't be focused on this anymore. I'm going to have to switch off and I walk away. 2,774 times later. No, thank you very
Mm-hmm.
much. Well done, Mr. Edison. Round of applause.
Yes.
Now, quick question for you, Mr. Edison. Where was he from, Thomas Edison? You know where? Do you know where he was from? Where he was born? I've got a distinct feeling that he was.
Is he English?
No, yeah, I thought he was, but he's not. He's from Milan,
Italy?
Idaho. No, Idaho. Or no, Ohio. Sorry, Idaho, Ohio. Milan, Ohio. There you go.
Well, you got this out.
We're definitely cutting this
None of
crap out.
this is
I don't know
okay.
why. I honestly
Italy?
thought that he was Brit. I thought he was Scottish, but he's not. Who was the guy that
Oh, he was from, yeah, I thought he was from England. Huh.
who invented the TV? Maybe it's the TV I'm thinking about. Oh, it was John Logie Baird.
Oh, Baird, yes.
Was a Scottish
Yes.
inventor, electrical
That sounds
engineer
like
and
a very
innovator.
Scottish last name, Baird.
Yeah,
Yes.
he also was the one who I think invented the radio as well.
Oh,
And
wow.
he was from
A
Venice.
twofer. He's from Venice. Okay.
No, he wasn't. He was
Lovely.
from Helensburgh in Scotland, but there you go.
Oh,
Sorry. This is utter shite. We are cutting all of this crap out. All right, we went down a total rabbit hole.
I've got one more example.
Go
Historically,
on.
this is a fun one. This is a fun one.
Okay,
For those of our listeners who enjoy drinking beer,
guilty.
this is for you. Did you know that drunk monks gave us beer?
I had no doubt in my mind. How on earth did drunk monks give us
Ho-
beer?
How did
He
we get
says
there?
as he
So
Googles this, the
monks,
fact check.
no, monks had barrels of grain, and those barrels got wet. Oopsie, they got wet. And
So they
so
say,
the grain, so that grain turned bad. It fermented and it started to smell really nice to them. So some very courageous monk decided it would be a good idea to taste this mystery substance,
"Hmm,
and beer was born.
well,
What we
there
know
you
now as
go."
what we know now as a multi-million dollar industry started because of a drunk monk who
That
wasn't
is
afraid
brilliant.
to try something new. They messed up. I'm using quote marks for those of you who can't see me. They messed up by getting these barrels of grain wet, and they failed into the success of creating beer.
That's
Cheers to the
fantastic.
monks.
Cheers to the monks. And I've done a little bit of research, and thanks to our good friend Google here, she is right. Apparently, that is the case. And do you know what they called it?
What do they call it?
It wasn't called beer back then. It was called liquid bread.
Liquid bread.
Yeah,
How
during the
about that?
1600s,
Mhm.
Bavarian monks, the Paulaner friars, famously survived Lent by abstaining from solid food and excessively drinking a rich, high-calorie, nutrient-dense Doppelbock that they called liquid bread. And if you don't believe me, then that's fair enough. That's what it says on Google. So there you go.
So whether it's in real life, you and I figuring out how to be entrepreneurs and having self doubt 24 times a day, whether it's conquering a water sport over 3 summers or historically significant things, we fail into success when we can move away from self doubt and just keep trying, keep persevering, keep that
Absolutely.
grit. And
And
then,
if
of
it
course,
all
the
goes
framework from
horribly
earlier.
wrong,
Yeah.
if it all goes horribly wrong, then we have liquid bread that we can fall back on. I feel like Cassandra is the sensible mind in this podcast. Me, you give me a funny story about a drunk monk, and I'm off track. Sorry, Cassandra. All right, everybody. Well, after that little meandering trip down trivia lane, whether it was Edison or the drunk monk, we are now ready for our courage challenge. So we are going to set you off into the wide world with our courage challenge. And here is Cassandra Sparks to tell you what that courage challenge is.
Absolutely. Folks, next time you find yourself in that self doubt trench, the muck is up to your shoulders, you feel like you can't get out, you're so stuck. Ask yourself these two questions. Number one, what do I think? And number two, what's the proof? Those two things together will help suck you out of that muck, rebalance your brain, and get you to a space where you can start to move forward out of that space of self doubt and uncertainty. Pretty powerful. Big shout out to my best friend for helping me with this framework because this is actually not my brainchild. This is from her. So thank you, Marion. We love you.
We love Marion. Woo! Shout out to her. I love it when we should get guest stars on. Marion can be our next guest speaker. I like it.
That'd
Okay,
be so
well,
great.
wouldn't it? That'd be fantastic. Well, I think it's time to close those speakeasy doors, Miss Cassandra
Yes.
Sparks. How are you feeling about
Yes, it
that?
is.
Sad times ahead, but it has to be done. So
Yes.
thank you all so much for joining us in the Speakeasy today. If this conversation has resonated with you in any way, then please share it with another leader that might need to hear it too. If you would like to keep connected, then please make sure you follow us. You can find me at Ewan Ricciolaing, which is spelled EwanRicciolaing. Good luck following that. But more simply, you can find Figary Learning at Figary, Figary Learning, anywhere you scroll. And what about you, Cassandra Sparks? Where can people find you?
Absolutely. When you're ready to see sparks, boldness, general wonderment in your feed, give a search at Cassandra Sparks YOU, and there I'll be.
And of course, you have the fabulous Cassandra Sparks and Figure Learning joining forces for a special fun shop that you can always reach out to us and talk to us about if you are looking for anything to do with presentation skills, owning the room, telling your story, then this is the fun shop for you. So please reach out if you are looking for a team development day or even something one-on-one. We have got everything you need to be supported in your presence. All right, Cassandra Sparks, until next time, shall we say goodbye?
We shall. We'll close the speakeasy doors for this week, and we will see you all next time. Same sparks, same speakeasy.